Kris Tyson went from being one of MrBeast's closest friends to one of the most controversial internet personalities. But how did it all happen?
Yo, Chris, do you have a towel?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Tag at the bottom of the TikTok. You don't have to do it. Are you guys both watching my new TikTok?
Yes, we are. At the exact same time.
They were.
So is this what it means to be a quirked up white boy who's bussing it down?
Kris Tyson was once one of the most recognizable faces in the YouTube world, known for his humor, personality, and longtime friendship with MrBeast. As a key member of the MrBeast crew, Kris was seen as a fan favorite, bringing comedic energy and a fun-loving attitude to every challenge video. For years, he played a huge role in the MrBeast empire, helping to create some of the most viral and influential content on the platform. But as we've seen time and time again, fame is a double-edged sword, and Kris's life took a turn that no one saw coming. From gaining millions of fans to facing intense controversy, his journey has been filled with highs and lows. His story is one of friendship, fame, personal transformation, and public scrutiny. He went from being one of the most beloved YouTubers to one of the most controversial figures in the online world. But how did it all happen? How did Kris go from an ordinary guy to a YouTube celebrity, only to watch it all slip away? What role did his friendship with MrBeast play in both his rise and his fall? And what is he doing now after stepping away from the spotlight? This is the story of Kris Tyson, his rise to stardom, the personal struggles that led to his departure, and the controversies that changed everything. Before Kris Tyson became an internet sensation, he was just a regular guy from North Carolina with a passion for gaming and making people laugh. He had a fun-loving personality, always cracking jokes and bringing a lighthearted energy to every room he was in. Growing up, Kris was the kind of person who enjoyed the simple things, hanging out with friends, playing video games, and immersing himself in internet culture. He wasn't necessarily someone who dreamed of fame, but he had the charisma and comedic timing that made people gravitate toward him. His ability to entertain others naturally made him a great fit for social media and YouTube, even if he didn't realize it at first. It wasn't until he met Jimmy Donaldson, better known as MrBeast, that things started to change. The two met in high school and quickly became close friends, bonding over their shared love of gaming and content creation. Jimmy was already obsessed with YouTube, constantly brainstorming ideas and figuring out how to grow his channel. Kris, on the other hand, was more of a laid-back guy who enjoyed the creative process, but wasn't as focused on becoming a major YouTuber himself. Still, their friendship and dynamic worked well together, and when MrBeast's channel started gaining traction, Kris found himself being pulled into the world of online content. At first, Kris made small appearances in videos, but his natural comedic energy made him a standout character. As MrBeast's content evolved and became more elaborate, Kris became an integral part of the crew, setting the stage for his own rise to fame. But while Kris's rise to fame seemed unstoppable, no one expected what would happen next. As MrBeast's channel skyrocketed in popularity, Kris's role in the videos became more significant. MrBeast had found a winning formula: crazy challenges, over-the-top generosity, and a team of entertaining friends who made every video more engaging. Kris, with his goofy yet relatable personality, became a staple of the channel, known for his reactions, jokes, and ability to keep things lighthearted. Fans loved watching him take on absurd challenges, whether it was spending 24 hours buried alive or competing in high-stakes survival games. His chemistry with the rest of the MrBeast team, especially with Chandler and Carl, helped create a group dynamic that fans adored. It wasn't just about the challenges, it was about the friendships and personalities that made the videos fun to watch. Over time, Kris gained millions of fans, with his social media following exploding as people wanted to see more of his personality outside of MrBeast's content. He engaged with fans on Twitter, shared behind-the-scenes moments, and even started making appearances on other YouTube channels. His fame gave him access to opportunities he never could have imagined, from attending high-profile events to collaborating with other influencers. Kris had become more than just MrBeast's sidekick, he was a star in his own right. But as his popularity grew, so did the pressures of being in the public eye. And soon, his personal life would become the center of attention in ways he never expected. Despite all the success, Kris was going through something deeply personal behind the scenes. In early 2023, he publicly announced that he was transgender and had begun transitioning. This was a huge moment, not just for Kris, but for the entire MrBeast community, as he was one of the most well-known figures in online entertainment. While many fans supported his decision, the announcement also sparked intense debate and controversy. Some people praised Kris for his courage, while others criticized him, claiming it would change the dynamic of the MrBeast team. The internet quickly became divided, with heated discussions happening across Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube. MrBeast himself stood by Kris, defending his friend against hate and making it clear that Kris would always be part of the team. However, as Kris continued to be at the center of online discourse, the pressure started to mount. Every move he made was scrutinized, with people analyzing everything from his appearance to his behavior in videos. The constant attention, both positive and negative, took a toll on his mental health. Although he tried to stay strong and continue creating content, the overwhelming spotlight was beginning to affect him in ways that weren't immediately visible. For the first time, Kris wasn't just a fun YouTube personality, he had become a polarizing figure, and that level of attention wasn't easy to handle. As the months went on, Kris started appearing less frequently in MrBeast videos, and fans began to speculate why. Some believed he was intentionally stepping back due to the backlash, while others thought there was tension between him and the rest of the crew. MrBeast reassured fans that Kris was still part of the team, but his absence from major videos raised more questions. Around this time, Kris also started focusing more on his personal life, sharing less about himself online and limiting interactions with fans. The pressure of being a public figure, mixed with his personal journey, made it difficult to balance everything at once. In late 2023, Kris officially announced that he would be taking a break from social media to focus on his mental health and well-being. This statement was met with mixed reactions. Some fans expressed their support, while others took it as confirmation that Kris was quitting YouTube for good. The truth was, Kris had simply reached a breaking point. He had spent years in the spotlight, first as a fun-loving internet personality, then as the subject of intense online debate. The internet had turned what should have been a personal journey into a public spectacle, and Kris needed space to figure out his next steps. His departure from regular content left fans wondering if he would ever return, or if this was truly the end of Kris Tyson's time with MrBeast.
Kris Tyson was just fired from MrBeast after this most recent tweet. What 6 months of a consistent looks magazine can do if you actually try. As you can see, this is Kris from MrBeast that we all know and love. Then now this is like Christina. But here's what really got her fired from MrBeast. It's really validating that so many people who harass me are Nazi sympathizers. So she's basically calling everybody that hates her a Nazi, which is just such a crazy thing to say. It starts going on and on and on about, I want to screenshot this and read it, you can. Let me know what y'all think about this, but yeah, Kris from MrBeast is completely gone.
TikTok's biggest controversy is Kris Tyson edition. So you all know Kris Tyson is the most controversial member of MrBeast's crew. But you may not know that the controversy with Kris has been going on for a while now. It started all the way back when Carl first joined the MrBeast crew. When Carl first joined the crew, him and Kris became very, very close. They were so close that during an interview, MrBeast himself said that Kris would refuse to film if Carl was not on set. Shortly after Carl joined, Kris made a tweet coming out as bi. Around that same time, he also made a tweet personally thanking Carl for allowing him to be himself. Now at the time, many MrBeast fans were not very happy with this tweet, as they thought that there might be something going on between Kris and Carl. And at the time all of this was going down, Kris was married and had a child with his wife. But the marriage between Kris and his wife did not last, and later they got divorced, which pitted even more fans against Carl, with many fans coming up with a theory that Kris cheated on his wife with Carl, which by the way, that is just a rumor, it has not been confirmed. But the changes with Kris didn't stop with divorcing his wife, as after the divorce he started to grow his hair out, paint his nails, and wear more feminine clothing. And even after all of this, the changes kept coming, as not too long ago, Kris confirmed via a tweet that he is on hormone replacement therapy. Now, fans of MrBeast were not happy with these changes, and they resorted to blaming Carl for them once again, coining the now popular term, the Carl effect. Now, even after all of that, the controversy with Kris still continued, as more recently he posted a picture of his son wearing high heels, with the caption, "Tucker chose to slay this morning." Fans, of course, were not happy at all with this picture, and it caused massive uproar in the MrBeast community. Now, MrBeast himself has stood by Kris throughout all of this drama, but many fans are constantly calling for Kris and Carl to be kicked off of the MrBeast team, with some fans even starting popular petitions to have that done.
Kris Tyson's story is already one of the craziest stories. But trust me, there's even more that hasn't been talked about. From behind-the-scenes drama to rumors that could change everything we thought we knew, the rabbit hole goes way deeper than you think. And if you want the full story, you know what to do. Hit that like button, let's get this to 500 likes, and I'll drop part 2 with all the details they don't want you to see. And as always, subscribe.